everyone, how are y'all doing? I hope you're doing well today. Today I want to do another album ranking. I honestly I kind of thought when I filmed the other one it was a flop, but then I watched it back and I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty fun. And I love watching album ranking videos. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna rank. So Eternal Sunshine is one of my favorite albums from this year. And another one is the one that we're going to rank today. They're pretty much like the two albums that I go between this year. And I know it's going to stay consistent after this year. So that's why they're absolutely top tier albums of the year. Hit Me Hard and Soft, Billie Eilish. Um, I can't even so before we even get into the ranking, which is oh my god, this shit was honestly really hard to rank because every song is just so meticulously made, so diligently like crafted, and I don't know if you follow Billy. I actually found her through it was Apple Music, and it was when I was literally in middle school or something, and it came up on my shuffle on Apple Music, and it was honestly I took a look, and it's like her least popular song on her EP, which is crazy. But Party Favor was my introduction to Billie Eilish. It was such a cute song, and I absolutely love it. Um, but I feel like her first and second album, they are really good. They are really good. But whenever I heard her EP, that's the sound that I wanted her to keep exploring. And I'm so glad that I tuned into this album because it's exactly what I was looking for from Billy. And Billy, she can do her own thing. She's literally killing it. But I just that's what drew me to her in the first place. And oh my gosh, just creating this masterful album. I literally can't. I also watched they did some of the interviews for the album for a press tour or something. And she mentioned that they did kind of a similar thing experimental wise with the music that they did in the first EP. So that is kind of what would you call it? I guess kind of why it gives a similar vibe in my opinion. I do think her EP is so fantastic. It's crazy that's her first work put out. That's insane. But Hit Me Hard and Soft, me ranking these songs, there really is no ranking because even the last song on this list is up there. It's literally up there, you know what I mean? So yeah, now I'm a stan. Always loved Billy, but now I'm oh my gosh, I want more. This I love it so much. And I love just she's even said it too that she feels so much like herself. So much like herself in this album in particular. And you see it, you can see her relaxed. You can see her confidence. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. I don't know. But it really comes through to the art. So yeah, we're gonna get into the ranking, but I don't know. I guess I had a little tidbit to say at first. So we're gonna start. There's only 10 songs on this album. I think normally albums are 13, 14 songs. Um, but there's 10 songs on this album. So yeah. They are pretty long songs, some of them though. So there's no issue with that. Number 10, I have Bittersweet. I don't hear many people talk about Bittersweet. It's not a bad song at all. It's just kind of more in the background, I'd say. Um, I love the first half. Um, and when they kind of get into the chorus where it's boom, 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 and you can hear her just Da-da, da-da-da. Like that's so just like you can like feel it. And then I think this song leads into the diner because the ending of it is like very like you're like tiptoeing through a house or something. And when I say ending, I mean like second half of the song. It's like boom, 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 boom. It's like you're like it's giving like Whoville, like the mouse in the house, like nothing scurrying in sight, not even a mouse. Like it's that's what it's giving. Um, but yeah, this is not a bad song at all. I think it's just if I'm playing the album, I do tend to skip this one the most probably out of all the songs. Um Next we have Lunch. Next we have Lunch. I think this is such a good single. I cannot believe it didn't go number 1. That doesn't even make sense to me. Like this is like such a good song. Um like from the instrumentals to like shock factor to like lesbianism, like this is like just so like fun and such a summer hit. Like, I cannot wait. Like it's just summer, 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 summer. Think of High School Musical where they're like summer, summer, summer. Like that's what I think when I hear this song. Like it's just like you just want to go to summer. um and you just get lost in the beat. It's so just like, oh my gosh. I think I have it lower on the list just because um I don't know. I guess maybe the verses, like they're not bad. I don't think they're bad by any means, but it's just kind of I guess the word is poppy. This is such a good song though. I just think the other songs are just so much better. But even then, like when I say better, like Lunch is not a bad song by any means. I would not. Both of those songs being the last 2 songs in this ranking is like insane. That's insane. You know what I mean? Um, but I did do Tears in the last list, and we're doing Tears this time as well. So those are the 2 in the last tier. I feel like it's just because I tend to skip them, or like when I go to the album, like they're not necessarily the vibe I'm searching for. When I do play Lunch, I love the transition from Skinny to Lunch though. So I usually like to play those 2 together. And the next song we have is Wildflower. I think this is an amazing song. I think it's definitely giving like you're reminiscing. You're looking back on the past. Um I think this one was like in particular there was like a whole, I don't know, like situation with like who she was dating or something. I think I take this song personally as like you're looking at your past self and you're trying to give love to that version of yourself. You know, I don't think it necessarily always has to deal with like drama because like not everything's about drama. Like it's just some things can just be about you and not about like everyone surrounding you, you know? So I think it's about giving love to yourself, the past version of yourself, um, and like always kind of thinking of that person back in your head, honestly. But this is like such a good song to just like walk to. Very, you know, just a guitar going. Maybe it's raining outside, like shit. Like that sounds like perfect time for this song. The next song I have is Blue. Um, I feel like this should probably be higher on the list, but everything's just so good. Um, Blue, like absolute vibe at the beginning, like so good, just like chill, and then it just kind of like takes a turn, and you're just kind of like turning up, like you're like in a club and you can't see anything. Like that's the vibes I get from Blue. Just so like depressed, but like let's party till the world drops. Um, because I think even like when it starts the second half, like she's talking about like she's not getting sleep, she's not like in the right state of mind. Like it's probably like kind of giving that vibe. Um I don't know too much about the lyrical content on this one, even though I've listened to it way too many times. But this is just a really good song. Like Blue is like, I don't know, fans really loved it too because it's like one that was unreleased for a long time, just in the archive, and it needed to be brought to light. And oh, it's so good on this album because the album itself is so blue. Like it's such a beautiful blue. Like um hit me hard and soft. So I think it's perfect for this album. I think it being number 7 is like a fine spot. Next song we have is Skinny. Skinny was, I think, my least favorite song when I first heard this album. This song, oh, like whenever you undergo like a transformation, the way people treat you is in fucking insane. And it really does fuck with your fucking head that like, oh my god, like why didn't my older self receive this love? You know, I think it goes back to kind of like Wildflower, where like you're kind of looking at this person in your mind and you're like, what was wrong with them for people to perceive them in such a bad way, you know, get so much hate and scrutiny. um I think it's definitely getting those vibes. And honestly, these strings at the end of the song is like so good. Like it bumped it up, like without the strings it probably would be like a couple down. But the strings at the end, oh my gosh. Like production. Absolutely just killer for of an intro. And you know, addresses a lot of comments. Like a lot of people are commenting on her weight, and like she wants to say, you know what, I, even though like I'm skinnier now, like I still have love for that other person who was me. And um I think it also just pains me too, like when she says like that version of me is the real me. And it's almost like you don't get accepted for being your true authentic self. And that's also a thing on the press tour that they talked about. Is she said like it's just so hard being vulnerable. And I think that is so tea because, you know, she even talked about how she was trying to fit into like a character for especially like her first album release, which I think is pretty like self-evident. um but the part of being vulnerable that's hard is that like you can't write it off hate as much, I guess, because you're being your true authentic self. So people are rejecting your true authentic self when you are receiving hate for things like that. And I think that's what a lot of people are afraid of. And I don't know. It's just, I think, I don't know exactly the formula for it, but I do think just being your true authentic self is the best thing you can do. Even though you will receive hate, people will reject you, people won't care, people, even if you do, even if you act like someone else, like people are gonna do that as well. Like, you know, might as well be yourself, like your authentic self, and walk through the world as yourself. Um, so yeah, that's what Skinny means to me. It's honestly such a banger and such just like so emotional and so um like well put, I would say. Um okay, so that was that tier of Wildflower, Blue, and Skinny. Really good. But we're moving up a tier now. The next tier, number 5, is gonna be The Diner. Oh my gosh, this is my absolute favorite on this album. Personal favorite, personal. But I think it being a song, I think it's still number five. Um, they said when they created the song, it didn't change much from when it first started. But this song is Billie. Like when you think like her first album, like that dark sound, dark themes, The Diner is Billie. Like everything about it, I'm obsessed with. I think it's honestly, I think it's her best dark theme song in general. Like it's so the beat is crazy. Like you're actually kidding. It feels like someone's like tiptoeing through a house. Again, like so on theme with it's about like a stalker like breaking into her house and like wanting to like literally forcibly like marry her and like forced entry and crazy themes, crazy. Um I don't know where I was going with that. But the instrumentals like display that. So when you hear like the tiptoeing kind of vibe, like boom, 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 like steps. It's giving like steps. Oh gosh. I still have these picture frames on the floor next to me. Um, but it's giving like someone's like literally breaking and then there's like panic mode, panic mode. That's like sirens are going off. And she's talking about the cops around the corner. Like just so like I love everything about this song. I would not change anything about this song. This is like oh my gosh, so good. Just everything about it is so everything. Um the next one we have is Birds of a Feather. This one was my initial favorite from the album when it first came out. I thought it was just so like it's so magical. Like it's so just light, yet it feels I don't know, it feels like you're just like holding hands with someone. Like it's just really like enlightening, I guess you would say. Um but yeah, I don't know, there's like no notes. It's just like a fun, just like cute song and it like um it feels very like spiritual. I don't know if anyone else gets that vibe. That might just be me. Um, but ooh, I imagine like someone like walking on water. Not necessarily like the Jesus depiction of walking on water, but like imagine like someone's like tiptoeing on water. This visual is crazy. Um, and like the sun setting and the clouds are like beautiful. Like it's so bright and like you just see like raindrops like falling in the water. Like it's just giving like so much water, so much light, so much clouds, like freedom almost. And I don't know, I just like I love it. That makes literally no sense. What did I even say about the actual song? Like literally what did I even say? Um but yeah, Bird of a Feather, like there's a reason why that one went. Did it go number one? I think it went some type of number something. Um but yeah, that one's really good. And now we're moving up a tier. So those were the number five and four. So starting top five. These top three are the top three. Um, there's really, I don't think there's much of a debate to have there. It is a bit opinion based, but I do think like in general, like these are the best songs on this album. And number two and three can honestly be swapped because when I kept thinking about it, like they are very similar in the way they're structured. But they are very different songs, very different songs. Um, and I don't know which one to put at number two or number three. I guess you know what? Okay, I'm gonna put number three, L'amour de ma vie. I don't know French, but it's like the love of my life, I think, in French. L'amour de ma vie. Um, yeah, oh my god, the like, uh, just like the old-timey voice she uses in the beginning is like, whoa. Like it completely like the tone shifts in the album. Like absolutely just like body. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And then just like even the lyrics just like I told you a lie. Um, like you were not mine. Like, oh my gosh, wow. Taking back the words, you're the love of my life is crazy. But she ate with that. She ate with that. I completely love the song. Head over heels. I think the transition into the um dance electric bop is so fun too. I have no idea what she's saying in it, but I am just like getting down completely. Um Next song we're moving to number 2 is Chihiro. This song, okay, it makes sense why I put L'amour de vie and then Chihiro. Because like just the start of the song, like the instrumentals don't feel real. They literally feel like you're somewhere else. And someone described it in like a reel or a TikTok, I think it was on TikTok, that like it makes you feel like you're like dancing underwater. And I completely agree. Just like imagine you're just like going so hard dancing and you're just underwater. And doom, 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 or whatever the beat is. And open up the door. Can you open up the door? Um, so good. So good. And the ending to this gets me so hyped. Like, are you get the beat, the way it's just I hit my knee. Like you're literally joking. That's not even real. That's not real. It feels like literally you're congregating an army to go to war. Like it's not real. This song is like exceeding like every expectation. Like it's just so good. And then it was so hard to pick these songs, but I do think for this album especially that you can't not give acknowledgement to this song. And we're going to be talking about The Greatest being number 1. I think it's so mellow. It's so well put. It's so what's the word? Like very like she has so much passion for this person, so much passion for this person, and they literally don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. You're putting so much into a person, so much love, care, so much effort, and they literally don't know if you're living or dead. Like that's literally the vibes that I'm getting. Um and when she hits that final like note in the greatest, like man am I the greatest, it just like completely takes over. It's almost like she's taking her power back from the situation too. Like she's no longer harping over this person. She's no longer giving that energy. She's realizing the power that she has within herself. And screeching that out is so powerful. So powerful. Man, am I the greatest. Self-love. Self-love. That is kind of a theme in this album. I never even thought of that. But like that really is kind of the theme. And I love it too because it's like I do feel like she's just very vulnerable with this album. So I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I think those are all my thoughts. I feel like a lot of the songs that is literally just like I don't know. Like I love it. Like I don't know. I guess they're just so hard. Like they're so good. Like there's really hard distinctions to make when ranking these. But I knew I wanted to at least touch base on it, at least in some capacity, because it's my favorite album of the year. I think it's unfair for me to choose between Hit Me Hard and Soft and Eternal Sunshine. Um, but um, I do think it's probably my favorite album. I do. I do. Even talking about every song, like there's not one song I don't like. I know I said I kind of skip Bittersweet sometimes, but like I don't know. Some of the other ones I do skip. Like if I'm not in the mood for Skinny, I won't play it, you know? Or Wildflower. Like you kind of have to be in like a mood. Um Everything else though, oh my gosh, just so beautifully put, so well produced. And I don't know, I'm so excited for the next album. People had a theory, Ilo Milo, that she was going to release a double album, so back to back, especially because this one was 10 songs. Um, and I think it's been probably a year since it got released. Or not a year, but it's been a decent amount. But I think her next album is gonna be like a red album, which is oh my gosh, I want her to like tap into like rock so bad. Oh my god, I would like literally die. Or just that dark sound. The Diner is my personal favorite. Like, oh my god, like more of that, more of that. It's so, so like I'm being fed. I think that's literally the least listened to song on that album though, and that's like a literal crime. Not saying the other songs are bad, but like The Diner being the least listened to, that's crazy. That doesn't settle well with me, honestly. Um so random. But yeah, that's kind of all I had to say. So I hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope y'all go give a listen if you haven't. I guess I don't know why you would watch this video if you haven't. Um, but it's time to listen if you haven't. I'm telling you, you gotta listen. Um, but yeah, listen. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, more story times coming for sure. I think I'm gonna film one right now, real quick. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.